It's apple snack time. Coming up.
What are you doing? I think he's offended.
Yes, I think he would be offended.
Please?
He is nuts. I love their story. I love them together. But she finally succumbs to the lure of Han. And that story led her further on her quest.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough. You do have your moments. Not many of them, but you do have them. That was from The Empire Strikes Back.
You're retro trekking with the Caramel Apples podcast, the apple snack that brings you a retro vibe, both crunchy and sweet, with your hosts Kennedy Rizzo and Cooper Lee. This is your apple snack, Star Wars edition.
Put that thing away! You're gonna get us all killed! Or, would it help if I got out and pushed?
Let's caramel dive in.
Hello, Orchard Archivers, and welcome back. Thank you for deciding to push play and spend a little time with us today. In case you missed it, we are the Caramel Apples, and we are apple snacking our way through some of the most iconic characters of the Star Wars franchise. The quote we just stated at the beginning of this episode was delivered by none other than Princess Leia Organa of Alderaan.
force to be reckoned with.
She really is.
Oh man, she brought it. She brought it every single time she was on screen.
We're all about girl power. I don't know.
I know, with her cinnamon buns. So ask any of the men who encountered her, right? That yes, she was a tic tac they had to deal with. Like she's potent.
Well, up to and including Mr. Darth Vader.
Right. Yeah, like in episode 4 when Lord Vader is wagging his finger in Leia's face. You are part of a rebel. You are part of a rebel alliance and a traitor. Take her away.
Oh, hashtag facts. How do you really feel there, Darth?
Right.
There is no escape.
So, she was brilliantly portrayed by the late Carrie Fisher. And this was her breakout role, actually, I believe. A lot like Mark Hamill. Like,
okay.
Who knows if they had done anything else like Small Time Fries, but this took them next level.
Yeah, sure did. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's like, it's just even saying that, like your mind just instantly goes there. You're like, oh yeah, no stretch.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah. And we know that she was born to famous parents, of course. So, I mean, she was already out in the Hollywood landscape and all of that. So she probably did little small things along the way.
Yeah.
But here at 19 to be put into this movie that, truth be told, I think any project that you strike out on, unless it's a reoccurring one, like when it was the original Star Wars, no one really knew what was going to happen. What is this? This space movie thing? What are we doing here?
Yeah.
So, she really didn't know, but she's 19, so she was probably glad to get the role. But then look what it turned out to be.
Yeah, and I mean, just a little side thought, and I won't take it crazy too long or anything, but
Do your thing.
But like in the 60s, that was like space shows, space movies, old I'm saying Z level.
Oh.
What is this mess? Black and white, whatever.
Yeah.
And like everybody was into aliens.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff. So like there was an interest in stargazing, interest in spaceships and that kind of thing. And like this was in the 70s, like 79 was the New Hope, right? A New Hope?
77.
Okay, so I think they were starting to, there was still some of a little bit of that in the 80s, because in Star Trek, that's a whole nother, that's another conglomerate.
Absolutely.
But like space actually was a strong interest in these decades, 60s, 70s, a little bit into the 80s, and then the tide started changing. And there's still stuff, but that's why Star Wars exploded like it did, because it was like in the height of all that.
Oh, I couldn't have said it better myself. Yeah, like it lent itself to a mass following.
It did.
Because there was already interest there. Yes.
Pew, pew, pew.
So here she is, her worshipfulness, Princess Leia, in all her glory. And she actually became an adult, on the production of these films, because she was 19 when she started, and the final one she was 25. So, I mean...
Still a pup.
Right, yeah. Truth be told on that, right?
But yeah, literally grew up in the franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So, speaking of becoming an adult, fun fact. At the same time that Princess Leia was forming a romantic alliance with old Han in the story, in real time, Carrie Fisher marries Paul Simon of Simon and Garfunkel fame.
Did not know that.
Cool, right?
That is cool.
The flame burned fast and hot, but unfortunately their union didn't last very long.
That's probably why I didn't, pinpoint that or anything.
Yeah.
Where you live on that pop culture stuff, right?
Right, yeah.
Interesting.
Also, there was a rumored romance on the set, but mum's the word on that one.
Oh, Coop's evil. She's evil, caramel apple.
Yeah. But back to our favorite future rebel general, Leia.
That's right. You just keep them thoughts rolling and turning there, archivers. But I absolutely loved her in this role.
Oh, yeah.
And it said she dearly loved the role as well. Mm-hmm. Like we've stated, for the other characters, it just wouldn't be the same with any other actress playing this character. That's what I like about this.
Yeah.
Star Wars and these characters is what it was.
Yes.
Which is why we want to punch some producers and creative execs in the face these days. Because they want to tear off labels and rename everything. But with the same thing. Like they want to make a new Star Wars. We haven't heard this no more than the others, so I don't
that
think.
would be horrible, yes.
They're doing that with everything.
Yeah.
Star Wars is its own entity in its own era and time, and Gen X rocks because this was right in our prime. Like,
yes.
This is when our imagination just went crazy. So don't touch it.
No, I wholeheartedly agree.
That's right. Like we've stated though, for the other characters, it just wouldn't be the same with any other actress playing this character. And that's saying a lot because it's just common for many to audition for and potentially turn down roles in Hollywood, right? So this was just like the perfect, crossroads for her and this becoming available and everything. She's Princess Leia now, so we're all happy with that, and she was too. Well.
Right.
Well.
Right. And, I think a lot of times some people, they worry about getting typecast. They're like, I don't want to just be seen for this role.
Yeah.
I really don't see the problem in that. Yeah, I can understand you want to have layers. You want to show that I can be serious and I can have a comedy role and I can blah, 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 blah. If you have a decent body of work and you are like typecast because you are so good at what you do, it's a paycheck. Why do you have to be able to do all these other realms anyway, right? It's like, if you're good at what you do, stick with it. That's fine. That's your craft. It's okay. So, but here's something else as far as, people auditioning, because we've kind of done that in Hans. We gave you a little insight in who potentially was up for his role. And we also did that with our Luke Apple snack. So obviously Leia is no different. So this brings us to our first fun fact.
Awesome.
Yes. Jodie Foster was considered for the role of Leia.
Shh. I'm trying to stay quiet.
But it just so happened she was just so busy at the time.
Shh. Thank goodness.
Yeah. And I would say she was kind of like the it girl at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of reminds you, kind of reminiscent of how Lindsay Lohan was for a time. Like she was kind of in everything as she was younger, and then as she got older, she was still kind of in some stuff.
Yeah.
People wanted her in their films, and Jodie Foster was that back in the day when she was younger.
Go for talent, not brands.
Right.
Thank goodness.
So she was in a lot of movies, and Jodie was certainly coming into her own at the time. Mm-hmm. And she was also a young teen and was going to play opposite Han character. So seems the better choice would be someone a tad bit older, because I think. Right. If I'm not mistaken, she might have been around like 14 or 15 or something like that.
Okay, if this was done in 1977, she was in, was it a Disney, like a Wonderful World of Disney or whatever? It was Candle Shoe. And she was a kid still.
Yes.
Like probably 13 or 14, so.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. I know!
Yeah, so I mean, when you're thinking of all the components of the story, you want it to gel pretty well.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Now, there were other actresses on the list as well. Oh, we're not surprised. We have the Batmans. Kim Basinger, or Vicky Vale.
Okay.
Glenn Close. Jessica Lange, who is obviously seasoned. Gina Davis. She'd have been cute for it, but it still has to be Carrie Fisher.
Yes.
Meryl Streep, to name a few. I had to get past that last one. And some of them were pretty seasoned there on that list.
Yeah. And, they already... I don't know if maybe they passed on it because they were so deep into what they've already been doing. Like, again, Star Wars wasn't a thing yet. We got to put ourselves back in the time before there was no Star Wars.
Right,
It was just words on a page.
Right.
So they're probably like, yeah, not for me. And they toss the script behind them.
Yeah. Well, but those names are all, like they're all seasoned.
Yes.
So they are actresses.
Yes.
And we respect their craft.
Absolutely.
And their dedication to what they did. So those are some heavy hitters right there.
Oh, yeah.
They're just not for Star Wars.
It's just not for Star Wars.
Yeah, so we thinks that Carrie had a lot of Princess Leia spunk in her to win that role.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And not taking away from any of those ladies that we did mention.
We have to keep saying that because we're not trying to knock them.
Exactly. The role seriously couldn't be imagined other than with Carrie. So I'm glad that that's the direction they went with it. I'm sure Carrie was happy with it too. And, everybody's happy at the end of the day.
That's right. She received her star back in 2018, and her daughter, I think her name is Billie Lourd.
Oh, okay, cool.
Which is, like you said, a cute name.
Yeah, it is.
She actually accepted it on her behalf, and her on-screen brother, Luke, and George Lucas was there for the ceremony. And of course, again, we're talking about the Hollywood Walk of Fame out there in Los Angeles. So, yeah.
Right.
Of course, she had to get a star. We're not surprised with that. Everybody in Star Wars is freaking heavy hitters.
Yes, absolutely.
Frickin' laser beam!
Absolutely. On further with Princess Leia's story, it's rather sordid and it runs deep. She is 19 years of age, as we mentioned, and when she's introduced into the Star Wars universe, she's catapulted just like Luke is,
Good word. Catapult. Catapult! That's another movie.
Oh, that's a good one, too. She hails from a powerful family in Alderaan. And her father, quote-unquote father, is Imperial Senator Bail. Quote-unquote mother is Breha Organa. For her in-depth backstory, one would need to go and get acquainted with episode 1 through 3 because you'll see way more about family. Her family, her mom and dad, and the quote-unquote parents.
Okay.
But fast forward to here and now of the original trilogy, we see her beloved adoptive parents are subsequently taken out.
Uh-oh.
By none other than the Death Star.
There it is.
Great shot, kid. That was 1 in a million.
This was its first action. And they did it on display right in front of her.
Oh, my.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Darth is holding her arm. She's right in front of Darth, and she's watching her planet get blown up.
Boy, talk about PTSD.
Exactly. And all this because, Grand Moff Tarkin he's running the show here on the Death Star. Him and Darth are kind of like, I wouldn't necessarily say in cahoots, but they're trying to work in tandem together.
Uh-huh, right.
So he's handling the Death Star, and
a test drive.
he totally loved that test drive too.
He's like, I'll take 10 of them. That's right. She said she recognized his foul stench when she was brought on board. Good grief. Now, something you wouldn't forget.
Right.
So he shortly showed how stinky he could be. That's the best part.
Right? Absolutely, my goodness. So Leia was refined, she was bold, daring, defiant, bred a true leader. And she has no love for the Emperor or the Empire.
Sounds like our kind of gal.
Exactly.
I think we need to induct her into the Girl Squad.
I agree.
Yes, we totally agree.
Gavel down. And And unbeknownst to Princess Leia, she has Skywalker in her blood.
That's right. See, all these little caramel gems all baked throughout.
So, of course, if we're talking about Star Wars, we cannot go too much farther without mentioning lightsaber. And if someone actually wielded it, and Leia, she doesn't wield them in the original trilogy. Like, we don't see her on screen with that. We see her with blasters and she's running and doing stuff. She's handling her business, but we don't see her actually with a lightsaber. But don't get it twisted. She actually does have one later on that she built herself. It is blue.
Oh, you might love blue.
And she is actually her brother's Padawan.
Oh.
Yeah, she's under the tutelage of Luke. And this is all obviously after Return of the Jedi. So, it's just interesting that she has the skills as well. The skill set is there.
Yes, Leia is definitely in our girl squad.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So what a plot twist right there.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, now everyone knows the story, but imagine watching for the first time and getting bits and pieces of this story as each installment rolls out back from 77, that's 1977,
Yeah.
through 1983.
That's monumental to say the least.
Oh, easily. Yeah. So with being raised a senator's daughter underneath a Skywalker, it's safe to say the only thing she's afraid of is having one scoundrel too many in her life. What's a girl to do? This ain't just in movies.
Right.
What about them scoundrels?
Scoundrel!
One scoundrel breeds another.
That's right. They're all around.
Yeah, what is it? You lay down with dogs, you get up with fleas. It's like,
That's right.
she starts hanging out with Han, and she runs around in his circle. She meets his friends. It's like, okay.
That'd be cute. She takes out her little spray bottle. She's by Hans. Like, she starts spraying her clothes and everything. He's looking at her all curious. Like, what are you doing? I think he's offended.
Yeah, I think he would be offended.
Yeah, please?
He is nuts. I love their story. I love them together. But she finally succumbs to the lure of Han. And that story led her further on her quest.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough. You do have your moments. Not many of them, but you do have them. That was from The Empire Strikes Back, and she landed a nice little peck on his cheek. And you could tell he was feeling it too. He was like, yeah, my woman's appreciating what I'm doing.
I think that's my hubby hub's favorite installment.
Empire?
I think that's what he was saying, yeah. Because
Yeah.
I, of course, asked him, and he was like, yeah, Empire Strikes Back. I was like, oh, cool, all right.
Did he, by chance, tell you his favorite character?
Oh, he did, but my brain is not working very well these days.
We have more apple snacks. You have a chance to ask him again. We'll throw it in there.
Yes, okay, I'll make that a personal project for myself. Find out which one, who did he like.
Absolutely.
I'll find out for you. But she'll face the likes of Jabba the Hutt and his lemmings to rescue her man.
Ah, yes. Yeah, her story's running deep. Like, she already had what she was setting out to do, right? Like, she already knew what direction she was going. And then, like love happens mostly in life, it was unexpected. She didn't know it was going to happen. And he's kind of wanting to go his own way. He likes her too, but he's not really like, yeah, I'm here for the cause just yet.
Right.
You can follow me, but yeah. So this is tale as old as time. What is a girl to do?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. But as you said, she's willing to face unsurmountable odds just, to help take care of Han. So Leia and Luke totally have a twin connection, but don't realize it just yet until it's pronounced, and it comes just in time to save Luke from certain death in The Empire Strikes Back.
Which, that's a fascinating concept, too, because, we actually know quite a few identical twins. Well, twins.
Right.
We know both, fraternal and identical. Mm-hmm. But, like, the connection, okay? Like, me and Coop are sisters.
Yes.
You guys know that. were very, very close.
Uh-huh.
So, like, almost creepy close, where people think or have asked or inquired if we were twins. We're not.
Right.
We're 2 years apart, actually. But it's funny because that's the type of connection that was people were picking up with Luke and Leia.
Yes.
It was slowly playing out, but you could see that, as they were going through the different, segments or whatever, their ventures.
Exactly.
So I love that. I think that's cool. Sibling action is cool anyway, whatever.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can get along, all the better. And here they are on this epic quest of crazy proportions.
That's right.
And they're for the cause.
That's right. So here we are. We're sisters. We're caramel apples. We're doing the podcast together.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about that?
I've got a bad feeling about this.
I have a bad feeling about this.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Yeah, you and me both.
I have a bad feeling about this.
That was so crazy.
Yes, so as we mentioned before with that quote, most of the main characters have uttered that at some point, and that was actually when they were inside the space slug. Leia was saying that.
Okay.
In episode 5.
Episode 5, that's right.
Yes.
Well, Leia has the opportunity to touche Han in episode 6. She is struck in the shoulder, and 2 stormtroopers are holding weapons on her and Han. The nerve. Han, with his back to them, he looks nervous. He looks at Leia, who reveals her own weapon to Han, who replies, "I love you." She retorts with a smirk, "I know."
Oh, love it. Touche indeed. Yeah, she's like, "I know you do, dudesy."
That's right. That's right.
She's like, "About time."
Hey, Your Worship, I'm only trying to help.
Would you please stop calling me that?
Sure, Leia.
You make it so difficult sometimes.
I do, I really do. You could be a little nicer, though. Come on, admit it, sometimes you think I'm all right.
Occasionally, maybe. When you aren't acting like a scoundrel.
Scoundrel.
So something else most notable about Leia was her hair.
Okay, we probably can do a whole topic or a whole episode on her hair.
I know.
Her hair was cute.
It was adorable. Her head was adorable.
That's right.
And like we said before, it kind of, there's the space, I think it was the enemy fighters, that had the little rolls on the side. That really did look like Leia's
It
hair.
did. Well done. Yeah, nice connection there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fun fact, her hairstyles actually had names.
Now this I didn't know. This will be great.
Yeah. So there was the Starburst, Star Swirls, Lunar Loops, Sun Sweeps.
Okay.
And Kenner's packaging called her most infamous style Star Puffs.
That works. That's cute. I love that.
I know. It's adorable.
I think our mom, she used to, do our hair, of course, when we were younger. We'd have braids and stuff, ponytails. But I think she actually did our hair in Star Puffs.
She did.
A time or two. And they look darn cute on us, too. I don't know. Maybe that's a little full of ourselves, but they were cute.
Well, Mom was feeling it. She's like, I'm into the Star Wars action.
Okay, so we're going to go back to another reference of Spaceballs. The parody of Star Wars.
Yes.
Had Daphne Zuniga as Princess Vespa and Louis Griffin. Louis Griffin.
Yes. So it's interesting because I don't know if our Orchard archivers are picking up on this yet, but we're telling you who potentially played these roles, people who had auditioned, and we're telling you who actually played the role in some form or fashion.
That's right.
And namely, being Spaceballs and Family Guy. So
there they are again.
Yes,
we keep bringing those up in our Apple Snacks.
Hope you don't get tired of it.
No, because it's going to keep happening.
So, and totally enjoyed this week's topic of Princess Leia.
Yes.
She is a bad mamma jamma.
She really is. She's now an honorary member of our girl squad.
So check out our next Apple snack, but mind Leia's plea to Luke on Cloud City. It's a trap!
You're nuts, kid. And that's it for this week's Apple snack. But as you know, there's always more where that came from, so stay tuned. If this episode entertained you, please subscribe and leave us a 5-star written review. Spreading the word is the best way to grow our podcast and share more iconic memories. See you next time in the Retro Orchard, and thanks so much for listening.